Ni hao ma. I have been over exploring the Red Note phenomenon, mostly because it blew up as an alternative to TikTok and sort of a great big middle finger to the establishment that thought banning TikTok was an intelligent idea. And I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about, having been part of many uh, internet sites over the years. They want you to speak Mandarin or at least translate things uh, on the app. I happen to have been to China. I visited Tianjin and Beijing in 2006 over the summer. I also visited South Korea during that time. It was, I think, an 11-day trip. I learned just enough Mandarin to like ask for where the bathroom was, and I never did get around to asking how to find the U.S. Embassy, but thankfully everyone spoke English to me the minute I walked up on them. So um, I think of that as potentially a missed opportunity. I didn't really get to sink my teeth into, I've got to figure this out. But I'm going to have a second go at it. It's my belief that a lot of what you're seeing there is probably filtered, and that you're not seeing the real life there. There is poverty in China, and when I was there in 2006, it looked pretty severe to me. Even what crept around the edges of the approved tourist spaces that we visited. Um, I mean, I think that's true of every country that uh, exists in the world today. I just don't think we have figured out yet that we should be taking care of all of us adequately, because that misery and suffering drives social upheaval and discord and eventual destruction. But I did appreciate just the fact that millions of people have said, I am not going back to what is now going to be an obvious client of the new uh, control freak president. And, the nature of the internet is that it routes around da- censorship like it's damage. This is something we nerd people told ourselves um, 30 years ago when we were all first getting into the whole concept. And it holds true today. And I'm glad it holds true. I think the most disappointing thing about all this was how readily our entire Supreme Court threw away our free speech rights, because I think it was a free speech issue, and I think that was fairly obviously a free speech issue, and did what people with money wanted them to do, because this is really about making certain people in America wealthier and giving them total control over the flow of information, and that's incredibly dangerous and destructive. And also, maybe they just don't understand up there in their ivory towers that they show up with all this, and they just suck the joy out of our shared communications with each other. They just absolutely, they crap flood it with abusive trolls and abusive rules, and make it so that people can't hardly say anything to each other without feeling like they're being monitored um, by the elite, and having their conversation moderated by the elite. And as an institution, my faith in the Supreme Court is utterly, I mean, it wasn't very good in the first place, but the fact that they all voted that the ban was acceptable really destroyed my belief in them, and has led me to think that the only way to fix what is wrong with them is to completely replace every single person on the court, and replace the institution entirely with something that is not beholden to nor fed by political passions, and where the ethics rules are absolute. I don't know how we get there, but I can't see trusting them anymore. They will only do what people with money want. They have no independence. They have no integrity. And they have no credibility. I can read too. And the document isn't that long, and it seriously says right there, Congress shall make no law. And I don't understand why the first time they got a hold of it, they didn't just say, yep, that's what it says. So whatever magical tea leaves they're reading that allowed them to say, oh, well, but in this case, Congress can make a law. It's completely nullified their credibility as an institution. They're just a bunch of unaccountable, bought and paid for lackeys. I have much less acceptable words that I would like to use, but I don't want this video to be unshareable. I don't think they're legitimate anymore. They haven't been for a very long time.